This is Middleton Place. It's about 25 miles outside of Charleston. It was up near where the main house was. There was an earthquake that knocked it down about 100 years ago. So it's just a few of the smaller buildings that are left. The stable and now there's a restaurant over there. This was one of the guest houses, but now it's the only house that's left here. I think this was used in the filming of The Patriot. At least it mentions something on this complex, and I'm guessing this is it. And maybe they used the inside of it, looking out. From here, it's a pretty good expanse. And you can look out and see this in the distance, so I'm thinking that's maybe where it was when the two of them were in the house. Looks like they don't have to mow the lawn. They got plenty of sheep. The little lamb was left behind. He doesn't like it. There was a stepping stone for a woman to get into a wagon. The carriage would pull up here, and that's how they'd get up. They'd have 2 steps in to help them.
And if you remember, in the beginning, you wouldn't have had the azaleas around the side. The azaleas weren't introduced here until the 4th Middleton Williams, and that was about the time of the Civil War. So he introduced the azaleas and the tea olives and the roses. Of the Camellia sinensis. And whether you get green tea or black tea just depends on how it's processed. Now, not herbal tea, but just, real tea. And the only tea plantation in the United States is on Wadmalaw Island, which is not far from here. These are called the inner gardens, and this is your best example of green gardens the way the first Henry envisioned the gardens to us. The main thing about these gardens is the pruning. They do plant a few overchairs, archway.
So they actually rent the places for people who have weddings and stuff.
Yeah, it's very popular to get married out here, or at any of the other plantations. And then you can take a quick peek over there. There's another secret garden, and again we have our balance and symmetry with the two opposite each other.
Oh, Charlie, I don't know if I can get it off.
I don't think you can.
I just wondered. 25 feet.
Anybody else? 36.5 feet circumference, 10 feet up.
Not the longest man, something like a man.
And it's 85 feet tall and 145 feet on spread. And guess how old they think it might be? 900 years old.
This one's supposed to be like 17,000 square feet of clay.
Yeah. And the whole coastline is covered with these beautiful trees, and they cut them down instead of the wood to England to make schooners. And somewhere I read it took 60 acres to make one schooner. Because they just used like part of the tree for a certain part of the ship. The fern that you see on the tree, actually it's a little bit green on that side. It's called resurrection fern. And that's because when we don't have any rain, it just dries up and gets all brown and crinkly. But when it rains, it resurrects itself and becomes real pretty and green. And, of course, you know about the Spanish moss. And both the resurrection fern and the Spanish moss are epiphytes. You know what that means? It's off the air, but doesn't hurt the trees. It's all nourishment system. Stuff blowing in the air.
There's a blue peacock. Just came out of nowhere. Right behind the fence here.